The other contracts we'll kind of move into, we've got two sections that kind of group guys together. And the first one, Dave, this one seemed like one you were excited about because it groups three guys together. Toronto gave OG Anunoby a 4-year, $72 million extension that was really a 3+1, had a player option for the fourth year. You had the Orlando Magic give a 3-year deal, 3-year, $50 million to Markelle Fultz coming off of his rookie deal. And then Kyle Kuzma, I have to scroll a little bit, he got a 3-year deal, $40 million with a player op. So you've got 3+1 for Anunoby, a 3-year straight at $50 million for Fultz, and then a 2+1 for Kyle Kuzma that's valued at $40 million. The way you kind of stress this, Dave, is like which one of these are good deals, which are bad deals. You were kind of throwing it out as the fuck one, marry one, kill one. What are you doing, Dave?
It kind of does work that way. I mean, like, as far as these contract deals are concerned, I do wonder, like, everybody wants to be a winner or loser in this, you know? That's just traditional NBA, and everybody wants to feel like they got the best deal out of it. So
yeah,
I just want to say, like, at the end of the day, it just comes down to, like, it's all speculation. So let me just open with, it's all speculation, guys. Don't worry about who did what yet, because it doesn't actually matter. But if you are going to rank these as far as who deserved it the most so far, like, I think OG Anunoby's deal is interesting because it's the one of the lower values in here. And I think a lot of people have a very high opinion of him. So it just turns into the, like, okay, well, clearly, if he takes a step forward offensively, he can be an absolute star, but ain't on a great deal. But at the same time, people are like, well, Kuzma, you know, puts up good stats, and they had to do it because obviously they're a team who it's over the cap. Yeah. So it was like, might as well lock him in. Well, we got the chance. I do expect the one that I'm most excited for, I think the one that's most controversial, though, is obviously Markelle Fultz.
Yeah, that's the one I'm most interested in.
He is definitely the guy who is just like, everybody wants to say, hey, this guy is going to be a bust. He's got the label. He's got the I didn't shoot for how long. He's got the, like, well, there was a condition eventually diagnosed for what happened to his shoulder, but we don't know actually what happened to, you know, how much of it was mental, how much was physical. A lot of people make that argument. Point is, we saw his first real full season of play. He looked really good. And I think that people are overlooking the fact that, like, he's still a super young person and he will continue to grow his game. So, again, decent shooter, growing. I'll say growing shooter. He's not quite the level he was in college, but, like, he's getting back there. And then he's gotten to the point where he's just a silky smooth passer. He can get to the lane. Like, there's huge upside. I think that he's the guy who in 3 years you're like, wow, we still got Markelle on a great deal. Or even in 2 years, we got Markelle on a good deal because he has a 2-1 basically. So I think that third year is a team op actually.
Is it?
If I read that right.
Let me see. I'm looking at the contract. It is not. It's a straight 3-year deal. So the way
I heard team op.
The way that Woj had it in his was a 3-year deal for $50 million. Spot Rack also has it as a 3-year no player op. Yeah, because Woj has it down as Markelle Fultz agreed to a 3-year, $50 million extension with Orlando. And then he said, long journey for Fultz, the former number 1 overall pick, to a $50 million rookie extension with the Magic. Orlando has been thrilled with his progress there, and he's become a key part of the team's future.
All right.
So it looks like that's the thing. Kuzma got a 2+1. Kuzma, it's, hey, that third year is a player option. Like,
Kuz has a player op. Okay.
To me, it's the Markelle Fultz one was interesting because, like, I had a feeling Orlando liked him because of, like you said, we're watching him play and we're like, shit, he's actually, you know, doing pretty good out there. Like, not what we expected early on. But, like, it's also, like, the Magic to me seemed like a team where they could take a roll of the dice here on a Fultz. Because they don't have, any, and Jonathan Isaac we're going to bring up in the next group. Him and Kennard we're going to take a look at because theirs are kind of linked with injury and stuff. But, like, you look at the team. Cole Anthony, who they just drafted, they're not going to have to deal with that contract for 5 years, basically 4, with that 5th year being the year that's up. They really, besides that, don't have any young players except for like Chuma Okeke, who yet again 4 years down the line he'll be up, so you've got time to where it's like like I said, they don't have anyone where it's like, man, we really have to worry about giving this guy a max contract. They can give Fultz 3 years. They can line it up with the other youth on their contract, and if it doesn't work, fuck it, it doesn't work.
Yeah, no, and again, I love Fultz. I will not give up on him yet. Like, he's got such a smooth game, and like the way he functions in their offense, I think he really found his own. Like, everybody points at the shooting stats, but in the bubble, I think he shot above like 35% from 3. So, and again, it's a smaller sample size. There was one playoff series, and obviously the 8 games prior, so like 15 games. It's like a quarter of the season. I mean, again, I'm not gonna put too much stock in things, but like I think he is on the right track to be becoming an above average starter in the NBA. But people just want to get upset about him, and I think expecting OG Anunoby to take a step forward offensively is as big of an ask as it is to say that like Markelle Fultz will take a step forward from his 3-point shooting. Like, I think both are big asks of these guys to get more consistent on that offensive end. So like when I look at these, like people are like, oh, it's a great deal here, but a shit deal here. I'm like, not really. I think they're both, about even in my mind. The Kuzma one to me is like, that feels like my arm got twisted because I don't think he's worth that deal.
No,
that to me is the worst deal out of all these. That felt like we're signing him so he can match his contract when we trade him in a year.
Bingo. I see the same thing because because I fucking despise Kyle Kuzma. I will say that. Like, has nothing to do with him as a person. It has everything to do with, I feel like he rode LeBron's coattail to this finals. And like everything I saw afterwards, like he put out a tweet where it was like, I was this, where people even were like, you didn't get any D1 offers, but you fucking, obviously you did. Like they went back and let's look at the receipts guy. And it's also a thing of like, the whole thing, it's like things he's listing off. It's like the only reason you got there was because LeBron was on your team, because the Lakers decided to keep you and not send you to New Orleans. So like for me, this was just the Lakers going, hey, some team is going to want him. We have LeBron and AD locked down. We are going to have to use him in a deal. We're going to get that deal done within 2 years. Let's give him a 2+1, because if we don't trade him next year or trade him this year, trade him next year, a team can go, well, hey, if we're locked down, it's only a 2-year commitment, and they don't have to spend a ton of time on Kuzma, who, is he really that? Like, he's got potential, but it's like...
He's not bad, but he's already 23?
25.
25?
25.
He's old. Like,
yeah, that's 25.
He's in his prime, So, again, I like Kuz, and I think he's a volume shooter on a bad team, and on the Lakers, he's just a... Yeah, old man 25. You heard me.
Old man 25. Coming from the big 31-year-old.
Yeah, I can call him. As far as NBA development timelines are, 25 is you are who you are.
Yeah.
He's a bad defensive player. He can chuck from, the offensive end. I don't know that, outside of a bad team where he just gets a ton of volume, he'd be a very good player. He's almost like the new school Julius Randle. Kind of,
yeah. I mean,
put up stats on a bad team.
For me, I'm just thinking of the whole, like the analogy you made of the clean version is love it, like it, hate it. The fuck one, marry one, kill one, where it's like marry you love, fuck it, you like it, and then obviously kill you hate it. The Kuzma deal, I'm killing. I hate that deal. Grandpa Dave, back in my day, players and primes were in their 30s. I think out of the two, OG and Markelle, like you brought up the OG one, and I just want to go back to that for a second because the Toronto Raptors are also a team where they gave Siakam his max, he's locked down. They gave fucking Fred VanVleet his contract, he's locked down. Other than that, it's like Kyle Lowry, you're not gonna give him a huge contract, right? After this year,
like, you might get a sweetheart deal, but I think you might play for a championship.
Good point.
And that's the problem. Like, they're not quite there anymore. I think last year was their last year of competing for a championship for a little bit of time.
Like, who else on this team is going to be like, oh shit, we have to pay them? Nobody.
They got a little bit of time to work with, so
they can throw a deal. That's why I would say I like the OG deal, love the Markelle deal.
Yeah, I mean, like OG could again. OG is an All NBA defender, like second team probably. He's got versatility. I loved him coming into the draft. I'm so glad that he went to a team that had great development. I think the injury setback hurt him a little bit while he was playing. And missing time there, but like he's still a player who is offensively like he's best in small doses. He's not a guy who's going to carry an offense, which they were hoping Pascal would have been that guy. And at times he can be, but he was missing. He was MIA in the playoffs. So like if OG's job is basically to be a defensive stopper and a couple shots a game kind of guy, like is that worth it's probably like similar to the Robert Covington kind of deals out there we're seeing. So I like that deal. I think that's appropriate. I think that one fits well. But the Markelle Fultz has the upside of like this kid still has that number 1 overall pick rub. Like we've seen what Kelly can do when he's the number 1 player on a team. And if he can get all the way back, then that's absolutely a great deal. That's what I see. I'm
going to switch them. And the only reason I'm going to switch them is I'm going to say I like the Markelle deal, love the OG Anunoby deal, is because of the player op. It's weird. The more you mentioned it, Dave, it's weird that the Magic didn't put like a 3+1 on it.
I'm surprised. Yeah, I was like, wait a second, they didn't do that.
Because like, there's a part of me that likes that more though for the OG deal because if he pans out, you have that extra year of like. Now yet again, it's a player option, not a team option. OG could say, "Fuck it, I want more money." After 3 years, if he balls out. And maybe the Magic expect that. They expect Fultz to ball out to where it's like, we could have offered it, but like, we're going to have to offer him a contract anyways. Like, that's the main thing. I think we're both in agreement so that the Kuzma deal, not so hot. And that, yet again,
least deserving, but I understand it. I think if you just put in the context of he's likely the first person who other teams would be able to trade for.
Yeah.
Oh, motherfucker.
I get you. What?
Sorry,
what happened?
Kyrie Irving fell into someone's legs, and it did not look great. But everybody's good.
Okay.
Live reaction.
Dave's gonna break a Gordon Hayward type of injury today on the show, watching these games. But